You want that
Easy.
out of your linebackers, right? Tommy Eichenberg, he's a throwback. He's old school. You would imagine Dick Butkus responding like that. There you go.
The thing about Tommy is, and I don't know how many people saw the Jim Knowles session of the interview session yesterday, which is fantastic. Go and check it out, seek it out on YouTube. But the question about Tommy was like, he's like short with the media. What's he like with? I'm sure he's better with the coaches. And Jim Knowles like, no, not really. Basically, he's clipped with us as well. Basically, just speaks in a bunch of grunts here and there, and sometimes a confused look when things aren't going correct defensively, and then they talk. But Tommy Eichenberg is a man of few words, but the good news is he's a man of many actions this year, as everybody has seen. So you don't have to talk a lot. You just have to hit a lot, and he's doing that really, really well.
And Tony, on the subject of Jim Knowles, I believe you crafted something here concerning some statements that Jim Knowles made that certainly piqued my interest without hearing the interview about something about blame me. What was that all about without giving away the best part of it?
Yeah, well, and that's one of the things that the players have said that they really like about him is that the mistakes that are made on Saturday by the players are Jim Knowles' fault for not preparing the players. So they go into this every game knowing like, well, they're not thinking about making mistakes. They're not worried about it because Jim Knowles has already told them, if it happens, it's my fault. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. And so he's put that on himself to just free up the players. And they all say it makes them play faster because they're not worried about making mistakes. They're just worried about making plays. And when you've got a defense that is focused on making plays, that's what you get out of it. And if you have a defense that's focused on making mistakes, well, you will make a bunch of mistakes because that's what they're worried about. And so it's really just about freeing up his players. And he went back to, I asked him, when did this start? And he said it started back when he was defensive coordinator at Duke for David Cutcliffe, when they had a bunch of future doctors and lawyers on their defense, not a bunch of future NFL players. And he had to, so these are guys that kind of overthink things anyway. So he had to take something off of their plate. Like, don't overthink making mistakes, just go and play. And so that's something that he's been doing forever. And the players will tell you that it makes them faster because they're only worried about making plays, not making mistakes.
Yeah, it really frees them up to be able to go out and react. We hear so much about, some coaches, defensive coaches have these complex schemes and everything else, and you're having to sit there and think about things too much. When you simplify things, and then when you simplify it even more by saying, don't worry about making the mistakes, get out there and play. That has to help a lot in terms of freeing these guys up as well. And, we haven't seen a perfect game from this Ohio State defense, but the good news is that, and I'm echoing what coaches have said before, we're never going to see a perfect game, period. That's just not how it works. So we get them out there and let them go and make plays. And when you have the offense that Ohio State does, that certainly, takes some of the pressure off the defense, because 21 against Notre Dame, I have a feeling, is going to be the outlier.
There it is. Very nice.